Niobe stood atop the grand palace of Thebes, her head held high, her golden hair glistening under the sun. She was the daughter of Tantalus, a man whose name was synonymous with arrogance and divine punishment. Tantalus was once honored by the gods, invited to dine among them on Mount Olympus. But his hubris led him to betray their trust in three unforgivable ways. He stole nectar and ambrosia from their sacred table to share with mortals. He revealed divine secrets he had learned while among them. Worst of all, he attempted to test their omniscience by serving them the flesh of his own son, Pelops, as a meal. For these crimes, the gods condemned him to Tartarus, where he suffered eternal torment standing in a pool of water that receded whenever he bent to drink and beneath fruit that withdrew whenever he reached for it. But the punishment of the gods did not end with Tantalus. His bloodline was cursed, and his descendants bore the weight of his sins. But Niobe had built a life of greatness, marrying Amphion, the gifted musician king of Thebes. Together, they had created a thriving city and, more importantly, a large and beautiful family. 12 children, or perhaps 14, depending on which tale is told, strong sons, graceful daughters. They were her pride, her legacy, her proof that she was greater than most. And on that fateful day, as she watched the people prepare offerings to the goddess Leto, something inside her flared with arrogance. Leto, a Titaness, had given birth to only two children, Apollo, the god of music and prophecy, and Artemis, the huntress of the moon. 2 divine children, but only 2. Niobe could not understand why Thebans should worship a mother of merely 2 offspring when she, Niobe, had many. She walked among the people, her voice clear, strong, and dripping with mockery. "Why do you honor Leto above me?" She scoffed, her arms outstretched. "I am more than she will ever be. I am the daughter of a king, the wife of a ruler, and the mother of countless sons and daughters. Leto has given birth to only 2, while I have given life to many. Should I not be worshipped in her stead?" Her words rang through the city, and her laughter sent shivers through the gathered crowd. The people knew the gods did not tolerate such arrogance. A hush fell upon them, but Niobe, lost in her pride, did not sense the dread filling the air. Far away, on Mount Olympus, Leto heard Niobe's words. She did not speak, but her heart burned with anger. She turned to her children, Apollo, the radiant god of light, and Artemis, the untamed goddess of the hunt. No words were needed, her fury became their fury. And so, they descended from the heavens, unseen, silent as shadows, carrying divine justice in their hands. The slaughter was swift, relentless. Apollo found Niobe's sons gathered in the fields practicing their games, their laughter ringing across the open land. With the precision of a god, he drew his golden bow and released his arrows. One by one, the boys fell, their joy turning into agony, their futures stolen before they could fully bloom. Artemis sought out the daughters. Some stories say she spared one, Chorus, who trembled in fear and begged for mercy. Others claim that none survived her wrath. The young girls, so full of life, were silenced, their bodies left to the cold grasp of death. The cries of the dying echoed through the palace, reaching Niobe's ears. She ran, her garments billowing behind her, her heart pounding in her chest. But when she arrived, she found only the lifeless forms of her children. Her knees gave out, her screams shattered the air, her hands clutched at their still bodies. Her husband, Amphion, overcome with grief, took his own life, unable to bear the loss. Niobe, once so proud, was now nothing but a wretched shell of sorrow. She fled Thebes, her feet carrying her away from the city she had once ruled, away from the blood-stained memories. She traveled to Mount Sipylus, the land of her father, seeking solace but found none. Her tears never ceased, an unending river of grief. The gods, watching her suffering, decided that her punishment would never end. They transformed her into stone, a lifeless figure that would forever weep. From that stone, a spring of water flowed, a manifestation of her eternal sorrow. The people who passed by Mount Sipylus would look upon the weeping rock and remember the tale of Niobe, the mother who had dared to challenge the gods. Her story became a warning, a lesson in hubris and divine punishment. She had sought to elevate herself above the divine, and in doing so, she had lost everything. Even centuries later, Her weeping stone remains a silent testament to the price of arrogance and the unrelenting power of the gods.